Hello, everybody. This is so funny. I am still learning to use this software, this streaming software. So I thought there will be a part that will say go live, and I'll do it on the dot at 11. But it's live now, so I am live and I'm a little bit early. So thank you for everyone who is already here. I see I have 9 viewers watching this live at the moment. Thank you for being my early birds. And yeah, so I am very, very excited to be here today. Super excited to be here today. You have no idea the technical stress that comes with doing a live stream. But it's all good. I've done it before once. So yeah, here we are again. Okay, so for those of you who are just here, there's a live chat that's happening on the right hand side. I'm so excited to see you guys. Sandra and Sylvia, Nung, Carissa. All right, so while we wait for everyone else to come in, I would like to have you really go in the live chat and tell me where you're from, what time it is, and how long you've been watching me on this channel. All right, so let's get in there. I want to hear all about, get to know you a bit better. So where you're from, how long you've been watching my channel. Oh, and the time, yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. Hello, Melinda from California. Christina, you've been watching me since the beginning. Oh my gosh, that's great. So 1 year now. Yeah, you know what? I actually went to the store I actually wanted to go to the shops to get some party hats and those blowy things, but I just didn't get around to doing it. So I did my best to put my colorful flower t-shirt on to celebrate. Cool. Ontario, Canada, 7 p.m. Yes, look, I've never been to the States. I've never been to North America, so I don't know the locations and all the states as well. I only know as much as what I watch in the movies. So I'm guessing, I'm just making a lot of guesses here. Hey Jill, hello, Ohio. It's cold there now, right? It's still cold in the Northern Hemisphere. It's still kind of wintry. Hello Mary Ann. Seattle, 4 p.m. It's raining. Yes, I heard that it rains a lot there. Hello Judy, hello. Newish watcher, it's 3 p.m. Hello, welcome. Thank you so much. Hi Erin from Chicago, Illinois. It's 6 p.m. Been watching me for a year. Hey Lexi, hey Lorraine. Hey Lorraine, yes, I met you a couple months ago. Glad you could join, Lorraine. Phillip Island. Oh, I really need to get to the Phillip Island at some point. Oh my gosh, 25 viewers now. So exciting. And hi, Noon from Oklahoma. You've been watching me for 2 years. Wow, so you started watching me on Instagram. And yes, hi, Dawn, 7 p.m. Hello, Valerie. Lots of hellos. I'm really so excited to see you all here. You're just names and words at the moment, but it really helps me and fills me up with a lot of energy. Yeah, it's all about the energy, right? Hey Paula from NYS and a newbie, and yes, so excited. Oh my god, yes, Silva, you did buy my original poppies painting. Oh my gosh, I painted 2 that size and you have 1, and the other one is I actually pulled it out from my drawers here. This is the other one. I'm not sure if it's on sale on my shop, but yeah, I just wanted to show you guys this today. And Jill, I painted your daughter's wedding bouquet. Oh my gosh, I so did. All right. Very cool. Thank you guys for joining today. I think we'll just like officially kick this off. So like I said, I want this to be as interactive as possible. So keep going in the chat. I'll keep reading as we paint. And feel free to ask me questions. I might not get to all of those questions right away, but at least it's there. And yeah, so let's get started. Okay. All right. So before we begin painting, I want to also get everyone to pop into the chat. What is your favorite thing about art or painting or watercolor? So just one word, all right? Or 3 words maximum. 3 words maximum. What is your favorite thing about this whole thing that we do? This painting, flowers, watercolor, and all of that. I want us all to put in the chat and then just share the 3 things, 1 to 3 words about the thing that you love most about painting. Waiting for the chat. Okay, you know what? I will share my 3 things that I love about painting, and that is a sense of connection. There is this deep connection that I get with a lot of different things, right? Connection to my tools, connection to myself, connection to my intuition, and also connection to the subject that I'm painting. So connection is huge for me. I also love the flow. The flow state is like the ultimate feeling, right? Flow state brings my whole being into this space where time disappears, where you forget like all the worries of your life, and you're just in the flow, and it's amazing. So I love the answers coming in. Creative, freedom, colors, soothing your soul. But yeah, swatching colors. Oh my God, colors. I love that colors are coming up so much. Yes, colors, right? As much as I love all kinds of art and I can appreciate all kinds of art, I do tend to gravitate towards colors. Being in the moment, yes. It's so freeing. And Sylvia paints in oil, but with watercolor, there's an instant gratification. Oh yes, that's so true. I'm very impatient. I love the instant gratification of watercolor. And yes, composition and freedom. I agree. Composition is just something about being an orchestrating of something that you can control, right? A sense of control. All right. Thank you so much. Oh, what's my 3 words? So I have connection, I have flow, and the next word is I would say freedom, because you guys have mentioned freedom. So it's connection, flow, and freedom. Totally, those are my 3 words. Yeah, so I think that's enough of an icebreaker. Let's get straight into the painting of poppies. Okay, so if you have this book, which a lot of people do, it's called the Flower Color Guide, and we're going to pop into page 220. And if you don't have it, don't worry, I'll have it on the screen as we paint as well. So let's see. I am going to now change my camera to look down. Cool. Thanks. My studio, I'm very blessed to have this studio. Thanks, Melinda. Okay, so in terms of paper supplies, I'm going to use my Meeden watercolor cold press 100% cotton 9x12. So whatever paper you like, you don't have to use cotton today. You can use whatever you like. Just use your favorite paper. And for my paints, my regular tube paints, I've got my 2 glasses of water. And for the brushes, I think I'm just going to go with my size 12 round. So I have 2 size 12 round, which I use a lot. One is the Princeton Heritage, and one is the Christy Rice paint brush. So they're very similar, but at this point, because maybe the Christy Rice one is a bit newer, so it's got a more pointier edge, and it's just slightly longer in the body. Whereas the Heritage one maybe is a bit older and it's a bit fatter, but I do love this too. I think I'm just going to go ahead and use the Christy Rice one. Other brushes that I will be using is this size 6 silver black velvet, so a smaller round brush. That's probably for layering later. And this one here, which is a liner brush. I might use it, I might not use it. It's a size 1 liner, or some people call it rigger brush. such a useful brush to have in your floral painting arsenal. Okay, so, all right. I'm just reading out a comment from Carissa. The flow has been challenging lately. That's why I always love your channel. I start to get bogged down by details and so slow. You say you need to go watch Crystal. Thank you so much for that. You know, I know how you feel because I was working on a project lately where I wanted to achieve a certain thing, and that feeling of overworking and getting bogged down by details is so frustrating. So frustrating, right? And the secret to not get into that is just letting go of expectations. It's crazy, but it's true. When you are more free and you think of it as play, you think of it as just, you know, going for it, having fun, it will be magical. Okay, so for my colors, I am going to try my best to match these colors. Of course, sometimes I go off, but I really love the peachy, yellowy tone of these 5 poppies. And what I love about this book, and particularly this picture, but the whole book is so good for this, is that you get the flower in many different stages of bloom. So, you know, you've got the bud here, which is, I'm not sure if it's wilting or if it's going to be blooming soon. I think it's more like wilting. And then you have the flowers in different, looking at different, you know, directions. So there's one full frontal, one pointing up that way, and one slightly that way. So it's a great way to practice your where the flower is facing, and also, yeah, it just makes a more interesting painting when you do something like that, rather than everything facing front. Okay, which is where we always start with, but you know, as we go along. Yeah, so this book is a great book. It is called The Flower Color Guide again, and I have a video in my YouTube channel all about my favorite books, so you can go and check it out. Yes. All right, so let's go. And I have questions coming in the chat. I might not have time to answer all of them, but you know, if you guys are watching and you can help me answer, you've been here at the beginning of the video, that would be amazing. All right, so I'm going to mix up my first color, and basically I'm going to, if you watch my channel already, you know my palette is always slightly dirty. I don't clean my palette, and I always use whatever that's on my palette as a first layer very often rather than not, because well, I'm not great at color mixing, and I love that this always provides a nice neutral tone. So if you're mixing it up yourself, it's really like lemon yellow, a bit of gamboge, a bit of orange, and maybe a bit of burnt umber as well. So mixing that, very, very watery mix. So almost tea-like to water consistency, all right? All right, and then let's go straight. I like to go and do the biggest flower first, like this one here. So let's just go. I am gonna use almost like the side of my brush, the belly, at this angle to create strokes that are just loose, and just looking at my reference and just creating the petals. And like I said, this is just a reference. You don't have to follow it, but it's a great way to just guide you through the process. So it's important to make sure the petals are organically uneven, right? Don't make it all the same height or anything. Try to make it as like randomly organically. So you see that nice watery sheen? That's enough water. That's not too much, not too little. Okay, but it's okay. If you go too much, it's fine as well. All right, now I'm going to grab a bit of orange and make a tiny pool here, which is slightly more concentrated. Okay, or maybe that's a bit too much. And then I'm just gonna, you know, just not so wet, but just like drop it in here and there. And then maybe a bit of lemon yellow, and just drop it in here and there. Some on the edge, some on the outside. And it's okay if you're not happy, you can still alter the shape of the petal. And then grabbing some yellow ochre. So I don't use yellow ochre a ton, but sometimes it's fun to use yellow ochre. And actually I have a nickel gold here, which is M. Graham nickel gold. And I'm just going to continue dropping that and just experiment and play and see what it's like to drop different colors into this petal, this flower. Yeah, maybe a bit of burnt umber. All right, so don't go overboard. Oops, see that dark? It's okay, you can still alter, but it's nice to put a bit of neutral colors into something that's super bright as well. All right, so there we go. So that's my base first layer of this first poppy. That's it. You don't want to mess around too much with it. How long did we spend on it? I don't know. A minute? Okay, that's it. Let's leave it. And we're gonna go and do this next one here. Should we do this one? Yeah, let's do this next one here, which is the next bigger one. So this one was more yellowy, right? Actually, I just want to add a bit more yellow. Just when I say it, don't mess with it. Okay. There is a period where you should stop messing with your paint anymore. So while it's wet and glistening, you still can go in and drop in color. But when it's that middle halfway drying time, it's the danger time. You don't want to drop any more color, all right? So you've got to be sort of like careful about that. If when you drop color in that point, it might get a bit it will just ruin it with clouds and cauliflower and all of that. All right, so the next one is more peachy. So more yellow. And I'm gonna grab a bit of opera rose or any kind of neon. All right, so yellow and pink, mix it up, let it touch all that orangey bit that you did before. It's totally fine. You notice that my palette doesn't have wells, doesn't have sections, because I've just gotten used to letting everything mix around. So that's how you can actually, make sure that your painting is has a, what do you mean? What's the word? Lost the word. Cohesion. Okay. So this one here is slightly facing that way. So I'm just gonna honor that by trying my best to create the petals here. This side a bit like longer, and then. Oops, I've gone a bit too far, it's okay. And then this side just a bit shorter to create the illusion that it's pointing that way. Okay, if you're happy with the shape, same thing, you can start dropping in more pigment here and there to create that lovely bleedy, more complex. Yeah. Whoops, sorry, my head. Wondering who's actually painting along. I'm wondering who in this chat is actually painting along. I'm still looking at the chat. Yeah. Okay. I love that. Okay, this painting is going to be very, very beautiful and transparent. And that's really a big gorgeous thing about watercolor, isn't it? And flowers. We can create that beautiful transparency about that. Okay, I'm gonna leave that. I'm happy with that. And I'm gonna go on to this one here. All right, so this one, it's more sort of like facing that way. So I'm gonna do that petal first, the one that is kind of like closed up. And then just don't be afraid to really don't be afraid. I know I say that a lot. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. Just don't be afraid. Just go for it. You can always pare back. Okay? Life is too short to be afraid of your art, to be fearful of paper and okay, I love how the orange has deepened this, and I'm just gonna do that onto this one. I'm going to go back to this while it's still wet, and I can do that. Okay. I'm leaving white space in the middle, as you can tell. Some people like to do the stamens first and then the petals, but I don't know why. I just love doing the petals first. It's not any technical reason. I just can't wait to get to the petals. Like, they're my favorite part, right? Okay, so I'm gonna add the stems now. So I've got sap green. All right, so many people painting with me. I love that. So sap green on its own is good, but I do like to mix in a bit of either indigo to just darken it a little bit, and I can even add a tiny bit of the orange just to neutralize it. Okay, so let's go. Touching the flower, just pull out some stems. And my stems are a bit fatter so I'm not using the tip of my brush. I'm using slightly the belly, and you notice it's never gonna be perfect. It's okay to be wonky and wobbly. Always just be confident, take a deep breath, and go for it. Okay, when you overthink it and you hesitate, that is when that's when you can see it. So I'm gonna be true to the composition of this painting of this photo, because it's just such a great composition. It really is. Okay, so I'm pulling. There are 5 poppies here, and I'm just doing all of them straight away. All right, so it's still wet, and if you want a bit of fun and variation, you can drop in, just go over it one more time with slightly a darker mix. When we add a bit of burnt umber, or add a bit of blue, a bit of indigo, just to give everything a little bit of, whoops, my phone just went ding. Let me turn that off. Okay, now we're gonna do the bud covering. So just keep that same, and just as few strokes as possible, okay? That's the other thing about how you achieve looseness is, maybe, they say like, oh, we shouldn't hurry when we paint, take our time. But when there is some sense of urgency, and you're like, oh my God, if you think about like, I need to finish this painting before I go pick my kids up from school or something, then you tend to go a bit faster, and maybe that will be the key to getting more loose. I don't know. Okay, so there's an option now to just paint this bud in here, and it'll be quite bleedy, but I think we'll go for it. But the trick is you don't touch all of the green stuff. So you just kind of like insert that here. All right, just insert the peachy color. So I just went back here to get that peachy, and you just touch it at certain points and not the whole thing. All right, and then maybe just here as well, because you want a bit of bleed. Bleeding is what makes the whole magic of loose watercolor fun, right? Okay, I don't know how happy you are with yours, but I am pretty happy with mine so far. Just love it. And let's go in with the centers. All right, so to be honest, I don't even have a method for my centers yet, because or style or look, and you go with what you like to do, but I do it very loosely. Grab the, oh my God, don't I put this in silent? Okay, grabbing any yellow you have. Mine is a very bright yellow. I can't remember the name of it, but use lemon yellow, cadmium yellow. And now the painting should be dry enough for us to go into the middle here with the yellow. So I'm still leaving some white space, right? And Yep. And I'm gonna have to wait for that to dry to just put more stuff into the middle of the painting. So I am very happy now with this first layer of my poppy painting, and I am going to layer this one more time with some details, but we need to wait for this to dry. So while we are waiting for this to dry, I am just going to share some announcements with you guys. All right, so I'm gonna put back this camera, back to my face. Hello, hello, hello. So I was thinking for my 1 year YouTube anniversary, what is it that I want to do going forward from here? And if you've been following me on my channel for a while, you maybe have heard some of the plans and goals that I have as an artist, as a content creator, that I've been wanting to do something that is beyond YouTube, that will, where is my voice? How do I contribute more to this space of watercolor and painting, and also finding the flow and freedom and connection within? So without any further ado, I'm very excited to let you guys know, and you are the first people here to hear about this, all right? I am so excited to share with you this program that I call the Uncomplicated Artist Movement. All right, so I prepared a little bit, a little thing here. Hang on, where is it? There you go. So the Uncomplicated Artist Movement. All right, so what this is, it's going to be delivered through the Patreon website. So I guess you can also say, this is my Patreon launch day. Yes, so I am launching a Patreon. All right, so what is a Patreon? It's basically a subscription, a membership, or you call it, where you are supporting me as an artist, and there will be extra things that you can get access to by being my Patreon. There will be 2 tiers to this Patreon. Okay, so I was trying so hard to find out how to share screen, but it's not gonna happen. So this is what it is, okay? So in my Patreon, there'll be 2 tiers, just 2 tiers. It's gonna be very uncomplicated, as you can see by the title. So let me just backtrack a little bit. Why the title Uncomplicated Artist Movement? So over the last year of making YouTube videos, I've got lots of comments, right? Lots of feedback and comment from everyone. And one of the biggest threat is that I've been told that the way that I present my art and the way I paint is very uncomplicated, stress-free, and just easygoing and no fuss. And that totally resonated with me. And I'm like, yes, that should be the way we do art most of the time anyway. So therefore, this whole movement, this whole Patreon that I'm launching today and presenting to you is called the Uncomplicated Artist Movement. So let's get into the tiers, okay? It's very, very simple. It's not many bells and whistles, because this is where I'm at. So in tier 1 is going to be more like a tip jar, a support. And it is for a low cost. You get access to ad-free tutorials. So all my YouTube tutorials on the Patreon web platform, ad-free. There will be a community that it will be done through Facebook. So I call it the Uncomplicated Artists Facebook group. So all of us artists that want to do art in this free, free and a way that we don't need to feel that pressure, that self-loathing, that judgment come in to be in this group together. And then, of course, thirdly, you are supporting me here on my YouTube channel that I can create 4 videos for you every month going forward. So that is the first tier. And the second tier, I call it the inner circle. So, sorry, the first tier is called the advocates, and the second tier is called the inner circle. I've actually linked this. Have I linked this already? I haven't linked this yet in this video, but I will link this if you're watching this replay. All the links are in the description below. To my Patreon, to my website. It is live already as I'm talking now, actually. And so the inner circle is actually the main offering of this. And what it is, it's a monthly live circle on Zoom. So not YouTube stream like this, but on Zoom, where I can see you, you can see me, and we'll come together in a circle format. And what I mean by circle, if you haven't, have you ever been to women's circle or men's circles where there'll be a topic, and the topic will be something that's relating to art and life. There will be a discussion, a sharing, and I encourage everyone to show our faces. And then of course there will be a painting, and there'll be a painting that we will do every month together on Zoom. And then we will close the circle with a sharing at the end. This whole point of this uncomplicated artist movement is where a space that we can all come together, drop into, and just be ourselves, and at the same time be seen and be heard by other fellow artists. So unlike this live stream or most live streams and live paintings, it's very one way. This is, I really hope to, create a space where it's a circle where we all can come together and share and be together on a regular basis, and we can grow together as a group. So that is it. I won't say anything further than that. There will be another video that I will post specifically about Patreon and the uncomplicated artist movement. And yeah, so glad that you're here today. And I hope you don't feel like I'm trapping you into a painting and trying to sell you something, because it sort of is, I know. But it's just an offering that I want to bring forth. It's not going to be a ton of investment. Just go check out the links when it goes live, and you have a look at the prices and the tiers. So yes, that is my announcement today. I'm so glad that you're here, and let's check the painting. All right, so okay, yes, I also want to say, obviously, if you want to have more questions about this Patreon and this this movement, you can put them in the chat right now, or you can go straight away to my website, and all the information is live. The Patreon page is live and everything. So I'm just talking to my live people right now. So that's that. Yeah, and just pop in any questions. I am checking on the painting now. Okay, let me just put this down so you can just see me. You want to check that the painting is fully dry by touching it, and if it's a bit cold, it's not dry yet. All right, that means it's still in that stage where it might get all messed up if you try to put too much detail. So what I'm gonna do now is something a bit crazy, but not really, but I'm gonna put on a background. Let's put down a background to the painting and not touch the middle painting, so that still has time to dry. Shall we do that? All right, let's go back to my puppies. Okay, so let's choose a background color. All right, so I am going to choose eeny, meeny, miny, mo. It's funny, if you've been following me on my channel, you know that I have been experimenting with background colors for a while, and I just try them all. And today I am actually very drawn to mineral violet, this purple color here. You can use mauve. If you want, you can use dioxazine purple, but I find dioxazine purple a little bit too bright. So I'm actually just using the Christy Rice 3/4 inch dagger. And why? Because it's got a nice cute sharp edge, and I just felt like trying something new. So use whatever paintbrush you have. Use something bigger maybe, so that you don't have to keep reloading the brush over and over again. So let's paint the background. Dum dum dum. Okay, putting a lot of this mineral violet down here, and I think this one is a mission gold. Okay. Okay, so how do we do this? You just do it. Just do it. You're gonna start from here, and I am just leaving a bit of white space around my flowers. Okay, and I'm also gonna create a border, an artificial, a white border, so that it creates a nice sort of like frame. So you see, if you're using a cotton paper, you don't have to be so worried about edges. the hard edges, because if you have a hard edge and you re-wet it, it can immediately become soft. So yeah, this is why a lot of my paintings have background because I just don't want to stop painting and I just want to use more of my paper. Okay, so a cool effect you can do is just drop a bit more of a saturated paint on the edges, or like, you know, to create like a shadow effect around the flowers. So while it's still wet, you can drop a bit of a thicker, oops, a bit gloopy, that one, around there. Okay, so let's keep going. And you also can create a gradation, like, you know, if you want maybe the right side to be darker, maybe the left side you can keep a little bit lighter, and I think I'll do that. So what I'm doing is basically just using a lot of water and less paint. Who is painting the background with me now? I'd like to hear. Or you going like, no, I'm not gonna ruin it, I'm not gonna paint. Don't think I want to do it. So fun. Seriously, painting the background for me is like one of the more like meditative parts, where, because you don't really have to think, right? You just kind of like going around. Woohoo! Sylvia is and Lorraine is. Okay. All right, so the middle parts, maybe just use the pointy part of your brush a little bit more. And even if the orange from here is flowing into this purple, that's totally fine too, because that's what creates like a little glow, or a little like that harmony that we talk about. Whoa, okay. Got a bit impatient there. So I definitely touched those petals. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. Ba-ba-bum. Elaine, me love backgrounds. Yes. Me too. Me too. I don't do it for everything, but like I said, I often do it because it's not a intentional, like the effect I want to make or anything. It's because I just want to not stop painting. I just want to keep going. Okay, so I'm going to drop a bit more of that darker purple into inside of, so if you imagine this is a shadow, right? This is the light source. So the shadow will fall on the right hand side of these flowers. That's why I'm putting all the darker, dropping slightly darker onto the right hand side. Oh, I missed out a little gap here. Okay, I'm gonna just change to my smaller brush to get into, by smaller brush I mean size 12. Ba-ba-bum. There we go. Right, so when we do in Uncomplicated Artist Movement, when we do have our monthly lives, it's going to be lots of painting together, but like I said in my little spiel earlier, it'll be a little bit more like, you know, there'll be sharing. And I think sharing is such a big component in finding empowerment in your painting, in your work. And a lot of us have a bit of fear around sharing, you know, so it's stopping you from making your Instagram page or whatever. So in this live, it's a chance of us to just push ourselves beyond the fear and put your painting up to the screen and say, look, I've done this. All right, so I'm so happy with the background. I love that glow. It looks really nice on the screen. We're almost to the end of this now. Okay, I'm gonna use my silver black velvet size 6 now to just mark in some details of this poppy flower. So grabbing that orange again and maybe just a slightly mixing up a bit of burnt umber in that orange, because sometimes it can get a bit, my orange definitely is a little bit intense. It can seem a bit fake. So I like to neutralize that with a bit of burnt umber. All right, so, okay, now is the tricky part because everything is wet. You can't really put your hand down onto the thing. So it is a good training for painting without resting your hand down. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm putting down a second layer and I'm varying my concentration of the paint. And I'm doing the lines, the shadows, and this part is where you just gotta be as random as you can. Try your best not to put something too symmetrically opposite each other. Like don't put one line here, one line here, one line. So, you know, try to make it vary at different angles, curves up different ways. Put little touches in the edges like this. It's okay if it bleeds out. That one just bled a little bit, but that's fine. All right, and then just move on real quickly to the other one. Okay, so that one got a bit more concentrated, so you can just do some, do more liney type, some you can just do leave it. Okay, that was a bit so this part of the process, it's kind of like you got to lock into a kind of flow where you're just looking at your reference and just putting stuff down without too much thought or thinking. And you just got to go and practice more and more. Okay, so you can slow down this and see exactly where I put each stroke, so on and so forth. But at some point, you just got to let your brush just do its magic. That connection between your eye, your body, and your brush is so good. This is where flow state really drops in, right? So far I've just used this one hue to make those details. Like you can go crazy and try different colors. So maybe I'll just tiny bit of this permanent rose, which doesn't really appear anywhere, but you can use that as like little accents. Okay, so just little accents. The eyes will be drawn to these parts that you are orchestrating on the page for your viewer. And yeah, someone said at the beginning, composition is so exciting in painting, isn't it? Because you're actually orchestrating where people are gonna look at. You are, every mark you make, you have that power. It's so empowering. Okay, so I'm just gonna work on the center of the flower. I'm gonna grab some of that sap green, touch of burnt umber, or you have olive green, you can go there. And I'm just gonna look at the reference and just put a little dot and just some dots around. All right, just some dots down here. And just dots up here. It's not so much dots, but like little tiny strokes. And you know, this center bit is where you can go nuts with the details. I think it's worth it. It's worth it to go really nice and detailed in the center of the flower if you can be bothered. And I can't be bothered a lot of times. But if there's one place you want people to just go, whoa, like draw the eyes in, it's the center of the flower. Okay, where are we? All right, so last thing, we're almost there. I'm gonna put some a dark green mix, so a bit of indigo with the sap green. And I'm just gonna just highlight a bit of these green bits. So noticing some like nice dark It's just going around. Okay, taking a step back just to look at your painting and see what else you need. I think this one can afford a tiny bit more detail on the edge of this petal to just separate it from the background a bit more. And how do I know that? You just observe. Look, feel, observe. It's this loop, right? It's why we love painting so much. It's this loop that we do, like we look, we observe, we implement, it comes back, feedback. This gorgeous flow. Okay. I think I'll stop here. I will stop here because I'm really, really happy with this painting. And I am so glad that some of you have painted along with me. I wish at this point we can all hold up our paintings to share. And I'm gonna do that right now. And that's what we'll be doing in the inner circle of the Uncomplicated Artist Movement. All right, so we will be painting together. We'll be sharing the paintings. We have a chance to discuss, comment, and also go on the Facebook group where we will, be together and do all of this fun stuff as a community. So before we go and leave it, I would like everyone here to just put down one word that you have to think about for the painting that you've just done. So the ones that I've just painted with me, I just want you to just come up with one word to describe your painting. And it can be any word, okay? I'd love to hear something positive, but if it's something that's not positive, it's fine too, because this is a place where we all want to share and be honest with each other. My word for my painting today is soft and light. I love that. I don't usually paint this softly, but softness is kind of how it makes me feel when I look at it. And I really, really hope if you are watching this on a replay and you have painted along with me, please put in the comments below as well how you felt about your painting and what it is that you love painting so much. So before we go, anybody has any questions at all about the painting, about my 1 year here on YouTube, about my videos, anything at all? Last chance to share in this live. Okay, so meditative, no stress. I like that. Thank you, Marianne. Chaotic, Judy. Oh my God, I wish I could see that. Chaotic is awesome. Wildflower says, is it possible to zoom in more watching on my phone? Not sure what you mean. Oh, zoom in more. I'm afraid it's the end of the video already. And this is the closest I can zoom at the moment. Christina says, blessed. Oh, so gorgeous. Love that. Beautiful and chaotic, light and flow, pretty. Yes, why not? Just pretty. I love that. I love that. Beautiful and loose. Dawn. So, yes, I really want to thank you all so much. And I do know that for me, I just want to let you know a little bit of my vulnerability and share that it's so scary to launch something like a Patreon or a membership, because you just never know who's going to come, who's not going to come. Am I going to get crickets? But I decided, I'm going to get over myself, push past my fear, and present this offering to the world out there. So thank you so much for painting with me. I really, really hope that if you feel called to join the Uncomplicated Artist Movement, that you will check it out and ask me any questions at all. I'm sure I have forgotten a whole bunch of things to say, but it is what it is. I am totally imperfect and not so, yeah. Anyway, I shan't babble on anymore. This is it. Thank you for joining me on this live. I'm so happy and excited again to be here. Thank you and good night and goodbye. Thank you, Judy, Elaine, Melinda, Nung, and Tony, and everyone who's come. Bye, 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 bye.